Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be reviewing the races from Geelong today, figuring out if my time form ratings worked and, seeing if we can make improvements and see how the winners rated on my spreadsheet here. So there's not much else to say apart from let's get straight on with it. We'll start in race 1. So the result was, as you can see here, Regal Zeus ended up winning the first race, leading on the fence by about a length to Freda, then Flamin' Romans, the Negotiator, and Haaland and all them. So Regal Zeus rated a 95.42 on my time form ratings off its last start, which was about mid-pack. Freda was clearly on top, but we'll see what Regal Zeus did at its last start and what type of track it was on. So Regal Zeus won at Geelong last start on a good 4 over the 7. It was the same. Sorry, that's the result from today. It ran behind Ratihi and Cradle of Life at Moonee Valley. It started decent SP and was a fair way off them, and it got a rating that was about 6 points below Cradle of Life. As you can see, Cradle of Life rated a 101.68. And Regal Zeus, I'm not sure how it improved that much. I think maybe because it settled in a more forward position leading, and that stage of the day at Geelong, it was an advantage to be probably up on speed, closer to the rails. So that's what might have helped it over the line, but still didn't really see that one coming, hence the price. I thought Freda's run was still pretty good despite losing as an odds-on favourite. Rated well clear with this run at Bendigo. And you know what? It'll probably go up to 2,000 metres now, so we'll see how that goes. The one I am pretty happy with is I rated Haaland. The time form rating rated Haaland pretty high off its run first up last prep, and Haaland ran 5th, paying 60 to 1. So although it wasn't a place, and you don't get any dividends for running 5th, still it's a better run than its price, and I think that's a win in my opinion. So overall, race 1, did it work? Sort of, not really with Regal Zeus, but with a few others it did. Flamin' Romans also rated pretty low, so probably not. I said 2 units to win on Freta, and we lost that one, so that wasn't too good. Race 2 we didn't do because they were all 2-year-olds and there was no data, so we move straight on to race 3. I should highlight the winner in green to make it obvious. And then highlight the place getters in yellow. Then we'll move on to race 3. So LOU won, leading rails where you wanted to be at Geelong. The high percentage play of Damien Lane came to the fore. Scott Cameron wasn't rated as a very good trainer in terms of statistics for this type of grade and distance, but I think having Damien Lane on helped, and I should have noticed that. And it won pretty comprehensively. I think it was about a length and a quarter or 3 lengths in the end. It raced away from them. Zeus Sensation second, rated pretty well on my things. I just thought it would have too much weight to carry to win, and it did. CR7 rated pretty well, 96.54 first up last preparation, which was, I'm pretty sure, a win. But yeah, at Bendigo, it won on this occasion, and that rated pretty well. I had to rate a lot of these horses off their runs 2, 3, 4 back because the last start run was basically on a road of a track at either Moonee Valley or Caulfield. But ELOU rated a 107.56. Can't remember what it was for or what track it won on. It won on it won a good 4 at Geelong, beating the man's man and MacDane on a good 4. I probably shouldn't have rated that as a very fast track. I think I rated it prior because I thought that rating was too high. I probably should have stuck with it. In hindsight, that would have given me the winner and I would have had ELOU on top. But we always learn, don't we? The horse that I had rated clearly on top without looking at that ELOU rating was Roma's Wish. And that horse rated a good rating behind Le Ferrari at Caulfield on a good 4, where the meeting wasn't a firm track and I thought it was a fair rating, and having Geordie Childs on filled me with a bit of confidence. Leapt in the air and missed it by, well, it didn't actually miss it, but it was a length or two slower out than what it normally is. And it ended up running 4th. Very good run from the back. It probably wouldn't have won even if it had jumped well, but I reckon it definitely would have run top 3. So did my Timeform ratings work for this one? I'm going to say yes, because if I didn't have a brain fade as much, I probably would have taken more notice of the ELOU 107.56 rating and gone, yeah, that was on a good 4. The times throughout the day were just average, so that's a fair rating. And Roma's Wish as well, for its price, it was started about 9th favourite. It ran 4th, probably could have run top 3 had things have worked out better. So I'm going to rate race 3 as a tick for my Timeform ratings working. Race 4 was the 2400 race won by Wertheimer. I'll just put these in green and yellow Wertheimer, Kailash, and Christmas. So, really, Wertheimer actually rated pretty highly because everything else is pretty low. This run from Christmas, which rated a 99.84, was on a road, so it was 84.963 back. This win from Speranzoso was on a road. It was 80.43 prior. Mercy and him rated pretty highly, but that was behind this 100 from Commander Harry. And if Commander Harry ran an 80 here, Mercy and him would have run about a 67. So that leaves Wertheimer as a green, but I can't actually remember what it did last start. If it was on a good track, then I concede that I probably shouldn't have seen it. But it was on the Caulfield meeting. That's what happened. I was actually looking at Wertheimer this morning because Northern Barrage and Adonis Kick got scratched, and it was actually rated pretty highly up there. And the only reason I went against it was because that Caulfield meeting on the 16th was playing like a road, and yeah, I probably wouldn't have tipped it anyway, but I could have. I rated for its run 3 back at 3 back now, but before the run today, 2 back at Cranbourne, and it didn't rate too high at all. So that's what made me go for. I actually had Speranzoso on top because I thought, well, it's just produced the best rating here. Although it was on a road, it's produced a better rating than what these horses have done on roads as well. So I just went for Speranzoso and started favourite, and it led, and I think it just raced a bit keenly and couldn't do much more. So did it work for this race? Well, Wertheimer was rated pretty highly, but still, I don't know. This one's a bit of a 50-50, but it could have been a little bit better. Race 5 was, this was the Carbonara. Spicy Margs and Soar Beyond. So all the lowest rated horses got first, second, and third. So it's immediately a no. This one hasn't worked. Well, Carbonados had its first run for the prep, and its last start run was in New Zealand. So my rating was a little bit not not trustworthy, I guess, because that win in New Zealand was on a heavy 10, and I didn't know, it didn't have a penetrometer rating, so I couldn't tell how much, or how, if it was on the worst or better side of a heavy 10, and it ran like a 1:14.7 for a 1200 meter race, which isn't quick, but they were on a heavy 10, and obviously it was pretty good in hindsight because it ran a 91.36. Well, that's how I rated it anyway, but did better than all these horses. Soar Beyond rated pretty lowly for its win last start. In the Kyneton Maiden on a good 3 track. So, yeah, I underestimated that. And the other one was Spicy Margs. Didn't know how to rate that horse because its last start run was on a heavy 9 at Ballarat. Again, no penetrometer rating available. Couldn't tell how much of a heavy track it was. I know it says it's a heavy 9, but some heavy 9s race differently to others depending on track. I didn't have any units highlighted because I didn't know how to treat the form of Geelong because it had been running on roads like good 3, good 4, good 4, good 4, like all 1,000. It ran at 56.85, 56.76, 57.98 for all its 1,000 meter races. Not too sure about the ride from John McNeil. This horse was backed in heavily late. So maybe if John McNeil had made his mind up earlier of whether to settle in for cover or just race up outside the leader, it might have run a bit better. Don't know if it would have won or not, but he just sat out there 3-1 and gave himself no hope whatsoever. Handed the race to the other Rupert Lee horse. So did my ratings work? No, they didn't for race 5. But we move on. Okay, this one didn't work either because Ray Magnerio was rated pretty lowly. Twin Perfection and Sacred Palace. Okay, so Ray Magnerio rated a 97.04 for its win on Stakes Day at Flemington, and I thought I didn't think it was a biased or untrustworthy rating because of the fact that Flemington they're running in a straight line, whereas other tracks they're running around a bend. So I thought the 1100 meter times at Flemington should be superior to that of other tracks. So I thought Ray Magnerio was just under the odds, and it won. But it didn't win like a $1.80 shot. It had the race handed to it on a silver platter. Race 1 out, 1 back, and only just got past Twin Perfection, the 20-1 shot. So I can see that I've rated Ray Magnerio low, and I should have rated it a bit higher. Well, not that I should have, but it just rated low on my equation, and my equation needs a little bit of work. Or I just needed to rate Ray Magnerio on more runs and see if it had been producing better ratings than a 97.04. The one I had as a play was Sebenak, who I thought ran well. It finished 2.1 lengths off him, started 16-1. 50 metres past the post, it was in front. If Mickey D had have angled to the outside a little bit earlier, not saying it would have won, but it would have gone close because it was in front about 50 to 100 metres after the line, and yeah, doesn't matter. Did my ratings work? Well, Twin Perfection was pretty high based off this rating, but that was on a road. Before that was 86.55, so Probably not. Oh, maybe. Probably, I would have rated it, if I was rating them in order of chances, I would have rated Twin Perfection a higher chance than what it was a favourite in the market. And then Sacred Palace ran a 104.02, which rated about, I don't know, third. It probably did rate third in my rating, so that's all right. Did the ratings work? Definitely not with Ray Magnerio, but if they ran the race again, Sebenak would have been going really close. So at the moment, 4 units on, 0 back. Let's move on. Race 7. Okay, well, I'll just put these in green and yellow first, but I did say in the live stream of the preview something about this race that wasn't great. So my Timeform ratings made definitely no, what's the word? No help whatsoever to judging which horse to put on top or anything like that, because most of these horses ran on a road at Caulfield where Baldinho rated a last start rating higher than Nature Strip's Black Caviar Lightning Win. Because Baldinho, I'll get it up. Baldinho ran a 108.47 for its win at Caulfield. You don't get much faster than that. That's probably the class record for a benchmark 84 ever by a fair way. So that's why the ratings were a bit skewed, and that's why I had to rate every horse based off another run that was on a fair track. Now Lafargue ran behind Baldinho here, and it ran behind, what's its name, Dubai Poet at Flemington over 1400, where I think Dubai Poet beat at home. It did. So, as I said in the live stream preview, I just had to do the form myself, just based off how I do the form, without my Timeform ratings, because they were no help whatsoever. Dubai Poet beats Lafargue by a length and a quarter at Flemington. They both carry a similar weight, and Dubai Poet had Blinker's first time off that run. So I thought Dubai Poet would be the better chance, and Lafargue just blows them. So can't really tell if my Timeform ratings worked because they were no help, and I just didn't use them whatsoever. Alright, race 8 was the Coastal Classic, and this wasn't great either, because the rating of Holy Man's is just way too low. Holy Man's ran a 74.63 for its last start run, and I can't even remember what that was in. It was in a benchmark 84 at Cranbourne, where it beat home Glentanius. It lost to Glentanius, sorry. I don't know what to make. What I will say, though, it had the perfect trainer-jockey combination of Ma Eustace and Michael D. Actually, I should just check throughout all the races if there's been any other perfect trainer-jockey combinations. No, this was the only one. So maybe take more notice of when there's a perfect trainer and jockey combination. In this case, Ma Eustace, Mickey D had the best strike rate at this class and distance and track. So maybe should have taken more notice of that. Holy Man's did start favourite. It probably rated a good rating when it beat Gregor Limo here at Flemington, but I based its rating off this run at Cranbourne behind Fajita San and Glentanius, and it didn't rate well at all. Bermudez rated well for its run. I'm pretty sure I rated it when it ran behind Pechero. I did it for this run at Flemington because this one was on a road, and this one was probably still a road, but not as much of a road as what it was at Caulfield. and it still rated pretty high, so I made Bermud as a play, and it ran relatively well, just couldn't pick up Holy Man's, and it probably wouldn't have picked up Holy Man's if they ran another lap. I had 0.25 units each way on Mystery Island. That horse sort of got left flat-footed when the sprint went on and finished 5th. It was just a run. It was just an average run from Mystery Island. But apart from that, there was not really much else to say about the race. I rated Flash Filling Mystery Island pretty high, but Flash Filling was on a road, so I discounted that. Would I have picked Holy Man's if... I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But maybe reviewing this race, take more notice of the perfect trainer-jockey combinations, Mar Eustace and Michael D. Right, but so that's 5.5 units on for 0 back so far. Race 9. Varvia. Danny St. Darcy. And Mega Mia. So we struck finally in the penultimate race, the second last race, race number 9 at Geelong. 1.5 units win on Varvia, delivered back 3.6 units because it paid $2.40 the win in the end. A trainer and jockey combination that both rated in the top 3. That's a high percentage play, and it was the highest Timeform rating, last start Timeform rating out of every horse. So it was a win, 1.5 units the win on Varvia, and it delivered, which was good. Rated Starlight Valley pretty high. Danny St. Darcy, that race that Holly Lolly won at Moonee Valley last start on the road, rated really highly. So yeah, Danny St. Darcy getting up for a place. It rated pretty highly on my thing. It paid $15 win price. So did my ratings work in this one? Yes, it did. 240 winner is nothing special, but my trainer, jockey, and Timeform rating came good and delivered something. And then race 10. Race 10. Yellow Sam. Frenchman's Bay. Miss Passion. So, Yellow Sam rated pretty highly, but that was on a road at Moonee Valley. But I rated it for its runs. Rated it for its runs here behind Nunthorpe, and Vivian, and they all rated similar numbers. So I thought, yep, that last start rating is pretty good. So I thought Yellow Sam was a really good chance. And I also put in Miss Passion for a 0.5 units to win, just because of the fact that it only lost to Sisterhood by 2 lengths, and it had a 5 kilo turnaround or something like that, and it beat home Sisterhood. I was kind of sad that Running By and all them got scratched, because it just took the price out of Yellow Sam. 1 unit that went on Yellow Sam delivered 2.4 units back. So overall, I think how many did we put on? 7. So about 8.5 units on for 6 back, which isn't terrible, but it's still a loss. We can still learn a lot. This was my first week doing the Timeform ratings, and we can learn a lot. So the top 3, trainer and jockey, before all the scratching, so they were in the top, out of 12, they're in the top 3. High percentage play. Maybe we got to emphasize them more next week. Trainers and jockeys that rate highly. But Yellow Sam was a good way to end the day. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream if you're watching. It was just a bit of a review. Hopefully I can continue doing my Timeform ratings and they can continue working. I hope to see you all next week. I don't know where they're racing next week, but hopefully, hopefully the Timeform ratings can deliver some more success. But until that time next week. Actually, no, I will see you framing markets video on Tuesday night for the Wednesday meeting. I think they're racing at Sandown. It's now called Sportsbet Sandown Hillside, which they're going to do that to every track at some point. They're just going to name it after a betting company. So anyway, I'm waffling now. I'll leave you. See ya. I'll see you on Tuesday afternoon. Bye for now.